What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another All Elite Wrestling video address thingy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and we're gonna go straight into it. This is my AEW All Elite address, and this is pretty much where I just pretty much just not really talk about the show, not really talk about the matches. I mean, I get into that a little bit, but just pretty much my overall thoughts on the show and some stuff that I saw and stuff like that. So that's my new job. That's what I feel like I have to thrive at a little bit more. And it's these videos that I feel like will be like a little shorter, so you don't have to look uh, at me for like 30 minutes unless you like looking at me. Which in that case, I appreciate it. I like looking at you too, camera. But let's get into this. So one, one big thing. So I'm gonna go to back in my when I first started. I talked about like specific segments, and I talked about if I liked it and what I didn't. Um, I kind of want to do that again, but I kind of want to be a little different with that. I want to really talk about on the show what works on the show and what doesn't work on the show, and I've done that a couple of times before. What really has not been hitting right has been their women's division. And I say this every single week. The women's division seems to not be hitting. Like you're you're supposed to have a AEW world champion, and your AEW world champion hasn't been featured. Like there was only mention of your AEW world champion, women's world champion, was they said that she won last week. They showed her winning on Saturday, and that was really it. Uh, we had a decent a match with Ty Conti and Red Velvet. Um, the match was pretty decent enough. They're both new. I think they said Ty has been wrestling for 3 years and Red Velvet's been wrestling for 4 years. And it could tell they're both still they're a little new. Like a lot of the moves were really good. Like the match wasn't bad. Like they hit the moves well, and it was good enough. It seemed like you can tell that it wasn't fluid. Like if you saw like Penta versus Phoenix that same night, you could tell it was smooth. You could tell it was the right amount. And with them, it seemed like they were like it happens all the time. They look at each other, try to plan out their next move, and that comes with experience. So I think what they did was a good job, but they just have to be established. They have to like just be used to each other, and like they're two rookies wrestling together instead of like there being one big veteran and one like rookie. Like if there was a Sheeta versus Conti, or if there was a Nyla Rose that was in there with them to help them carry to get along a little better. But yeah, the women's division is non-existent. Not even the NWA Women's Champion was in attendance. So uh, it's kind of hard to see what's next for Sheeta when she's not on the show, which is ridiculous. Same problem with Raw that Raw has. Like last week or before this past Monday when she was actually wrestling, like the week before, there was no Asuka. Like I know you want to plan for Survivor Series, but you didn't even plan for Survivor Series against Sasha Banks. But yeah, that's a big. They have to get that women's division together because they got good stuff in there. Like even if Sheeta has a match against I don't know Evilise or Diamante or someone like that, like something, anything, like even a short match in a segment, and then a new challenger and Britt Baker or something. But like you didn't like nobody like Britt Baker wasn't there, Big Swole wasn't there, Nyla Rose wasn't there. Damon mentioned what happened with the Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero thing at the end where she slapped him and she didn't really do nothing about it. You got none of that in there. Like it's kind of ridiculous how no big star was in there, probably besides Brandy Rhodes. That's um I like what they're another thing that bugs me about the show, and it happened It happens a lot during AEW, and it's AEW Dark. So AEW Dark is, they have a big roster, so they have a lot of people. Like, so if you don't really make it on an AEW card, they put you on AEW Dark. Now, AEW Dark isn't the problem. The problem is that you don't promote AEW Dark enough for anybody to really care about. So if you don't watch AEW Dark, you don't know what's really what's going on. So if I'm watching TV and I don't see Scorpio Sky on television and he's like 9-2, I was like, how is he 9-2? And then Sean Spears is like 11-2. And they people like them and people like Butcher and the Blade and QT and Dustin fight over Alley at AW Dark, and it's like, how are we don't see any of this? You barely show anything. Like a week before they'll say, but like, oh, this is what happened or something like that. So I wish they were just more involvement with AW Dark. They'd be like, oh, this is what happened. Like even if they did like a video package, like this is what happened at AW Dark, and and then they hype it up for like a match for next week. It's like, oh, they've just been wrestling on AW Dark, and now they're gonna settle it. Like, okay, well, what happened on AW Dark? How did they get all? How did they rack up all these wins? Like, who are they beaten? Like, they haven't beaten anything important. Clearly not, because Sean Spears is 11-2. Is not even in the top five. Ricky Starks was what 11-1 or something like that. Had one loss in his record. Had all those matches in AEW Dark and wasn't ranked in the top five. It's like, so what? So why are we supposed to care about the system or AEW Dark if you're having all these wins, but you're still not even being racked up in the top five? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, that's one of the pet peeves for me. But the matches that they have, they're good enough. I just wish they exposed it more. Like Sean Spears versus Scorpio Sky was good. It was a good match, but it was like, why do I care about this match? Same thing with Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian. Uh, Something happened with Orange Cassidy, and I guess Orange Cassidy apologized. Kip Sabian slapped him. They tried to attack him. He said it wasn't good enough. He said, "Hey, don't worry, I got it." And now they're having a match next week. Like, that's it. That's all you gotta do to get a match. You just slap somebody. Like, hey, don't worry about it. We're doing it next week. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. But the matches were good. Spirit Scorpio Sky was good. I like that they're at least building to it, and I hope that they continue doing it on the show, not on AEW Dark, and we don't see them for like another month, and then they show up again, and it's like, why are you doing this? Um, I like I like Team Taz. They got a lot. They got like an hour's worth of TV time. They had the match with Matt Sydal, which Taz put over Matt Sydal very big, and also put over Darby Allin for a little bit. One thing that I do like about they do this, AEW does this a lot. WWE rarely does it. They do it with the Hurt Business, but they don't really do it with a lot of people. Is where, like, even if you're like a heel team or a heel person and you're having like a one-on-one match, they'll big you up, but they won't, like, they'll be a ringside or whatever, but they won't interfere in the match, which is a good thing. Brian Cage had fair one-on-one match with Matt Sydal. Ricky Starks was at ringside. Taz was on commentary. Not one time did whatchamacface, Ricky Starks get involved. Not once. He let him do his thing, even when he was in trouble. Ricky Starks, he threw a hissy fit, but he didn't, not once, just try to get on the top rope, try to do any distraction. Nice one-on-one match. Good stuff. Brian Cage wins. That's what we like to see more of. They do the same thing with the Hurt Business at WWE. United States Champion Bobby Lashley, you have the whole Hurt Business crowd around him. That one of them does anything. They don't move. They don't say nothing. They don't do nothing. They don't distract nobody. They stay there. Boom. Bobby Lashley wins. Tag team. Uh, Sean Benjamin, Cedric Alexander. Bobby Lashley's doing him thing. MVPs on commentary. No, he doesn't try to do anything. They win. So that's why I like when you put people over instead of try to make cheap ways for somebody to win and lose. That's one good thing about AW that they do. Besides, like if you're Sean Spears and you're a cheeky heel and you have to cheat to win, that's one thing. But if you're like a dominant heel or you're supposed to be led up as like a person who shouldn't be losing, um, you shouldn't need distractions to put somebody over. People just win and people just lose. Um, so yeah, so that was good. For some reason, Taz called out Cody Rhodes for whatever reason that was, and then Cody Rhodes, and then this was a long segment. I don't know what was going on this. Cody came out said, "Hey, congratulations to Darby Allin. I'm not going to challenge you. I want to face MJF." And then this girl came out. I wrote her name down. Uh, Sugar. Oh, snappy daps. Um, Jade Cart something. Cardi. She came out very nervous. But I guess she got a little bit the hang of it. Pretty much told us that Cody said that he was a giant killer, and be careful what you wish on because you're gonna open up a giant. The giant Shaquille O'Neal. Big surprise, sort of. The giant Shaquille O'Neal. So I guess Cody's gonna face Shaquille O'Neal. All right. Brandy Rose came out. House of Fire called her a heifer. Said, "Who you think you talking to? Come out here, talk to my husband like you crazy. You crazy boy. You girl. You crazy. You lost your ever loving mind, woman." Um, so she got into that, and then and then Team Taz for whatever reason jumped Cody, and then Darby Allin came, and then there was this weird awkward thing where Darby Allin came and like he helped both of them, and then they got out the ring and they were just standing there, and it was like really awkward for like like it felt like an eternity. It felt like a whole minute that was just awkward there, and then Cody Rhodes' music hits, and then Will Hobbs came out and was like, "Okay, that's awkward." I think Will Hobbs was supposed to come out already before. I don't know. It was really weird. Like unless he, I, I don't even know. But that whole thing was weird. It was really long. Um, Cody wants MJF. Everybody wants Cody. Shaq wants Cody. I don't even know how that's going to even. I don't even know what's going to be happening with that. But it was just a lot for no reason. Um, I wonder if Cody's going to win the title from Will Hobbs or from what's his face Brian Cage. Is like, well, I guess I can't be AEW World Champion. I kind of just lost my TNT title to him. Hey, can we make this FTW Championship canon? We can. Hey, Taz. Yeah, I'm gonna need that belt. Thank you very much, buddy. I feel like that's gonna be a thing. The Cody's gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna take that title that you got, Cage. I'm just gonna take that title from you. Thank you. You'll never see it again. That's exactly what's gonna happen. What else did I like? I like this whole thing with the elite and with Moxley and Hangman Page. I did see whatchamacface, I almost said BTE. Um, the elite, the elite, being the elite. I think it is being the elite. The YouTube being elite, where Kenny and the Bucks they celebrated them being tag team champions and then winning over Hangman Page. We're the champions and stuff like that. Hangman Page, is drinking. They run into Dark Order, who's not there. Well, Stu Grayson was lurking. Anna Jay and Ty Conti. That was weird, but um, it was lurking, and they were doing the F Hangman Page thing, and then Hangman came in there with the drink, and everybody was telling, "Shut up!" And then Hangman was like, "F Hangman, F Hangman," and they all chanted, and I guess they tried to follow Hangman. So maybe there's a story where Hangman is going to be recruited by Dark Order. That'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But FTR hasn't isn't there, so that's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be having their rematch or if they're going to be going to like Impact Wrestling or Japan or do wrestling around the world before they get back to AEW. That's going to be interesting. Kenny Omega, well, John Moxley said that uh, he's beat Kenny Omega before, but beating him the second time, it takes a real special person to do that. He said he is the best wrestler and he is that special person to do that. Kenny Omega says, by my recollection, history books, John Moxley 0, Kenny Omega 0. You never faced me 1-on-1, official 1-on-1 match, so it doesn't count. So can you beat me in the wrestling ring? That's pretty much how it is. He said he wanted to be the greatest wrestler, like he was the greatest wrestler of all time or alive, putting on the cleaner gimmick in Japan, putting on 5, 6, 7 star matches. He said that he was being an EVP, but now he could clearly do it, and that's what he's going to do. And they have a match for December 2nd, so that's going to be good stuff. Um, I like this. I didn't like the build, like I mentioned before, to the Butcher and the Blade and the Nightmare thing. I didn't like the build. It was literally Eddie Kingston said, "Take care of your household." I made her not be there anymore. Now she says she was just using him for his money. She maxed out his credit cards, and then Butcher and Blade attacked him, and now they're having a match. Okie dokie. The match was good. It was really long, unfortunately for me. Um, yeah, I think after that elbow spot from the top, from the ladder that QT did, boom, elbow, you face is bloody, everybody's bleeding, boom, elbow drop, game over, it's over, we call it a day. But no, he kicks out and it still goes, and it's like, woo. But there was good stuff in there. I like that. Like from the beginning of the match, Cody and Butcher was like butchering each other. See what I did there? I think Goldust was supposed to do. Dustin was supposed to do like a final chapter, like the final cut, and ended up hitting like an RKO on a chair. That was great stuff. They handcuffed Dustin. Everybody's bleeding. Guitar hits QT Marshall. It was like, oh, he's bleeding from the guitar. And then Gerald was like, how did that happen? And then Excalibur was like, from the guitar. Good stuff. Bunny goes through table. Uh, and QT ends up winning. So I wonder if they're gonna try to get in that tag team position because I'm guessing that thing is. I guess they're done with that whole thing. So I think the Eddie Kingston and group is about to go on with Packing Group. Whoever Packing Group will be, whether it's Death Triangle again or maybe just Ray Phoenix and somebody else. I don't know. Oh, by the way, Pack returned. That was good stuff. Um, oh, by the way, it's kind of I hope that Gun Club, um, if they try to get jumped by them, Gun Club comes out because they're always in the crowd. So hopefully they can help. I don't know why Gun Club didn't help when whatchamacface when Brian Cage and Ricky Starks attacked Cody. It's like, but your Gun Club, you're part of the Nightmare Collective. He put you in there, so why shouldn't you jump over the rail and attack? That didn't happen. Okay, whatever. My business. Do whatever you want. That was good stuff. Uh, I like the whole MJF thing, coming in and inner circle. Ortiz is so over MJF. I love that MJF was like bragging about him only being 25 and uh, being only getting like $1 million from his dad and all this stuff and being in the business 5 years to be in the inner circle is all this stuff is like, oh my God, we get it. We're sick of you. I loved all of that. I love that he had a poem and it was just like from Drake's music. And Ortiz gets on the mic and was like, dude, that's it's Drake. You're doing Drake. He's like, no, I'm not doing. No, this is myself. This is from the heart. And he was like, yo, we don't want him in the inner circle. Like, why are you in the inner circle? And he was like, he's copying Drake. And then MJ goes, it's like I don't even know who Drake is. I started from the bottom and now I'm here. Like that was hilarious. That was all good stuff. And then he says it's just Cero's birthday. We celebrate happy birthday, and he said we're all going to Vegas. Hey, Jake Hager is over the moon. He's celebrating. He's going crazy. Um, everybody's happy with Ortiz. Everybody's like, where in the world did Sammy Guevara go? Well, apparently Sammy Guevara didn't get the email that we were going to be inside. He thought that we were all going to the beach. He was saying that he sent them a second email. Everybody got a second email but Sammy Guevara. He was like, there was no second email. He said, hey, we're just glad you're here. He was like, there was no second email. Everybody leaves. Warlow is just like I'm so over everybody here. And then MJF was like, hey, I gave you that second email. And then he was like, gave him a ticket. He was like, Vegas on me, buddy. He's probably gonna send him to coach, send him on coach in the middle seats with like fat fat guy and noisy women while everybody else is rocking first class. There's probably a one-way ticket and he can't even get back. He has to pay his own way back. It's gonna be so. Oh, when Sammy Guevara's babyface is gonna be great. By Matt Hardy, who said, "Hey, I got respect to you. Don't blow this chance that I gave you." So that's all good stuff. Um, yeah, and then main event that I kind of mentioned a little bit. Um, Next week, Bucks versus Top Flight, which is Devon Dudley's sons, twin brothers. Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin versus Team Taz. Inner Circle live from Vegas. And since I already ruined that Pac is going to be here, or Pac, sorry, he's going to face the Butcher, no, the Blade, who just Blade in the match, who is probably not feeling any good after getting beat up. He's probably going to feel worse after Pac murders him. But yeah, this match was good. I like that how different this match was from, like way different. This match was from their previous one before. Only gripe that I have is like I'm over the Cero Miedo, the playing to the crowd. Like he does that all the time. Just him up. Just Cero Miedo every 2 seconds. Cero Miedo. Woo! Cero Miedo. Woo! Besides that, this match was fantastic. They were way more physical, ripping the mask. What? They were ripping mask at each other. Oh my god, it was good stuff. Um, Eddie Kingston arguing with everybody on commentary. He was like, "This is your fault." I was like, "This is not my fault." He's like, "Hey, people fight, brothers fight." He kept calling Penta his best friend. He was like, "Penta, my best friend." He was like, "Yeah, I think he's better than Phoenix and stuff like that." It was so great. It was excellent stuff. Um, I liked how when Penta ripped Ray Phoenix's mask off, was ripping his mask off, it was all good. But when Ray Phoenix did it to Penta, he was like, "Hey, he should be disqualified. Why is he doing that? He's not supposed to be doing that." And they're brothers. Eddie Kingston is fantastic. I love everything about him. But yeah, in the end though, Penta package power driver from the apron, Sunset Canadian Destroyer. I was gonna say Panama Sunrise, but Canadian Destroyer, boom on the outside, back inside another Cero Miedo package power driver for the three, and he wins. And then Eddie Kingston was like, "Hey, my best friend, right there, best friend, that's my guy." He just Ray Phoenix. He just like kind of nudges him out the ring with his foot. Just get out my ring. And then he was like, "Hey, dead weight, get rid of him. We don't need him." And then Pac comes. Yeah, Pac's here, and Pac is all up in his face. He's like, "Oh, you think I don't remember? I'm back." And they get in each other's face. Penta and Ray Phoenix is like, "Hey, bro, what you doing?" And that's when they announce that Pac is going to play Blade. So it's going to be great. Good stuff. So yeah, this was a decent show. It had its ups and downs. This match, fantastic. The Bunkyard Brawl thing, that match was good. It was a little too long for me, but it was still good. Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage is good. That one segment with Cody was way too long. It was a whole bunch of stuff that was going in with each other. Where I want MJF, and then the girl comes out and talks to him on behalf of Shaq Daddy O'Neal, and then Brandon comes out, and then whatchamacface, Team Taz attacks him, and Darby Allin comes, and then Will Hobbs comes late out of nowhere. Nothing to note with the women's division. Uh, yeah, it was a decent show. I would give it a B. I give it a B plus. It was good stuff. There's good stuff in there. Dragged a little. Just hopefully we'll see what happens next week. But that was my AEW All Elite address rant. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.